With your panic button, and I'll say this with everybody in here as well, some of them seem to be working with just like click, others you may hold it down for like 2 seconds. So if we hold it down for 2 seconds, it seems to be working better. So let's try yours. I just did the teacher that was in here a minute ago. So your microphone does have to be on. All right. Good morning. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Remember, there's a sign-in sheet going around, and we're going to troubleshoot a couple things this morning. So hopefully we can get you guys taken care of and get you on your way. Real quick, I hope you had a great Christmas break, a great just restful break, a new year. I know Mondays after the break are kind of stinky, so I'm sorry you had to listen through training too. So I apologize for that. Real quick, I wanted to introduce Leslie Coleman. She is joining us at Progressive here, and Leslie also comes from an education background. So if you want to introduce yourself just for a second with this group.
I'm Leslie. I've been in public education 25 years, middle school mathematics literature for 15, and the high school media specialist the last 10 and a half. So I've had the opportunity to use Safari for the last 8. So and I'm thrilled to join Progressive, and just let us know how we help you.
Absolutely. And Leslie also is very familiar with the camera systems. We actually plucked her out of Newton County school system as well. So she has lots of experience, so feel free to ask her any questions or signal her to come over to you guys as we're going through this. Hopefully we can answer a few questions. I know when I was here the first time, it was a crazy day for you guys. Y'all were testing. You were on a modified schedule. It's a lot of information anyway to try to get through in just one setting, especially with the login issues and stuff like that. So I'm going to revisit a few of those things really quick, and then we're going to show you how to go in and find those recordings and edit them and save them and stuff like that, okay? So again, going through and just making sure you are in Safari Montage is the biggest thing. Also, several people mentioned, the last time, let me back up real quick, that it didn't work right from home. And you're right, it doesn't work right from home, and that's one thing that we were not able to get to because of time last time, but I'm going to show you how to see it differently when you are from home. One thing I do need to show you real quick, though, as well, and unfortunately, before we realized this was happening, we had already given you guys your microphones. After speaking with the manufacturer, we knew that we did not want student microphones to set off the panic alert, of course. So I went through and turned all of these to lock. We turned the lock on all the student microphones. That's why the back of your student microphone has the silver S on it, okay? However, even though we were told this would not be the case, it is the case, you cannot adjust the volume with that lock on. And many of these microphones are coming out of the package turned up to the max. Okay, and so in order for you to turn these volumes down, you're actually going to have to go in and turn the lock off, lower the volume, and then turn the lock back on. Okay, it's real simple. It'll just take you a couple of seconds. You're going to want to do it when the kids aren't in there probably, because when you turn it on, you're going to get that feedback and that static. And if you'll just pop that battery case off, it's really easy to pop off. If you're like me, you may need some glasses or a magnifying glass because it's pretty tiny in there. And I've got a zoomed in picture right here. It's not great, but if you'll look right here, it'll say lock, and it's on and off. When the little slider is set to on, that lock is on, and that microphone is locked. All they can do is talk in it. Okay? It is tiny. You will definitely need to borrow. If you don't wear glasses, you're going to need to borrow somebody's. So what you're going to need to do, again, is turn the lock back off, adjust your volume to a comfortable level, and then turn that lock back on, okay? Your student mic, just so you know, is set to channel B. Yours is set to A. Students are set to channel B so that they can interact with one another and not interfere. The last thing, most importantly, you need to make sure you put your battery in correctly. Okay, so, and it's very easy to do. Again, it could be that your battery came put in incorrectly, and that's because we put them together ourselves, and there were many late nights of assembly line fashion putting things together, and it could be that I put it in backwards. So if I did, I apologize. But definitely that's your first line of troubleshooting. And that may not have gotten a good charge on it yet.
No, I know. I just wanted to see the button that you're talking about.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you're just going to want to pull that off of there. Again, you're going to want to adjust that before you give it to students because it most likely will be very loud when you go to turn that microphone on. Just make sure you set it, turn the lock back on, because if you don't, then those microphones will be able to do the alert. And believe me, if students find out, they will definitely be doing that. So, just so you know. All right. Okay, now, your alert actually will not activate if your microphone's off. You're gonna have to have your microphone turned on to make sure your alert will kick off. Again, with those alerts, we are noticing that some of your microphones, like mine was a click on, click off. Some of them you may have to hold those both red buttons down for maybe like 1 to 2 seconds. So again, I'm gonna hold my buttons down 1 to 2 seconds, and it should come on, and then hold them off down for 1 or 2 seconds, and it should go off. Okay? If at first when you're holding them down, it doesn't set, click it again, and then you'll just hold those buttons down. Again, the red light is not necessarily part of the system. After we had installed, Bibb County wanted us to install some type of indicator for teachers that they had set this off, and so the red light was actually put in after. It's kind of an afterthought, I guess you could say. And so, they just drilled a little hole, put a little light, and connected it. So it won't be quite as seamless. But again, it still should work from anywhere in the room. You still shouldn't have any issues with it coming on and off. So, I'm glad you guys are checking that. Definitely make sure you let your administrator know, because you don't want them running all over the place with all these alerts going off as you're checking these, okay? Just a few quick reminders from our first training. Your videos will delete after 30 days, and I'm going to show you today how to go in and set those to save if you would like to. Also, with duplicating your scheduled times. Now, again, last time we were in such a big hurry, it was hard to really spend a lot of time on setting a schedule. When you first scheduled recordings, you can't see that schedule in Safari right away. Safari updates about every 20 minutes. And so some of the changes you make are not visible right away. So some teachers think, oh, well, I must have messed it up. And so they go in and schedule it again and again and again. And then you have a duplicated schedule. So when it's time for that recording to kick off, Safari doesn't know what to do. It just says, oh, it's telling me all these messages, and it just fails. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to go in today and find those schedules and delete some of those if you have duplicated them, and edit those times if you need to. Again, your times can't overlap. If you set it to come on at 8 o'clock and go for 2 hours, you can't then set it to come on at 8:30 for 2 hours and 9 o'clock for 2 hours. You see, because that's overlapping and it's going to confuse it. The same with your start and stop times. If it comes on at 8 and goes for 2 hours, then your next one can't come on until 10:01. Okay, so just make sure you're not overlapping those start and stop times. Again, all of the quick tips that I have sent, I believe Ms. Griffin has sent those out to you guys. You will get more today, including the PowerPoint I have today, and additional step-by-step guides for what I'm going to show you today as well. Okay, again, just a quick reminder, your panic buttons, press and release, and I'm actually going to add on here, let's go ahead and just make it a practice to be sure you hold it down for about 2 seconds. Every time I've counted to 2, it's definitely come on and gone off by the count of 2. So
We were practicing with these before the break, we noticed that sometimes you had to somewhat point the microphone at the
okay. I know you have to have that line of sight with that black sensor. That's what's picking it up, not the actual box itself.
Right.
Okay. So
we'd have to get it then and then
really?
to get it to pop.
I definitely want to know those that are doing that, because that's not the way it should work. It should be pretty much from, if I'm anywhere, see, like just then I pressed it and it came on. Oh, there it is. Okay. So again, 4 to 6 inches from your chin, Bibb County best practice. They're worn all day, every day. For your safety. And also remember to adjust that volume. You shouldn't hear yourself through the speakers. Standing kind of across the room, asking students to, is that loud enough? Can you hear me clearly? Is a good way to check that. Again, you're charging. You want to charge every night. Your green lights will come on when your microphone is fully charged. I know in the booklet that came with it says about 3 hours. But at the end of the day, if you'll just plug those in and let those go, it should be good to go. Again, if you have any issues with the power, check your battery first. It could be that it was put in incorrectly. That's definitely a first step. Any other issues, let us know. There's always bum batteries, bum mics. We order these in bulk from Atlas Learn. If there are any that aren't working correctly, we'll be glad to switch them out for you guys, okay? Any other questions about your audio? hopefully, once we go back and kind of play with those red buttons, I still don't know what made them come on over the weekend. I know with lightning and stuff, it can trip the cameras and make them do stuff, so it could be that it did that with the audio, since that's just an extra light, just an LED light added at the end. It could be that did that. Alrighty. So again, we've talked about those alerts, so we'll just skip right on past there. Okay, one thing that your administrators asked this morning was that you make sure you pull up your cameras for all of your students to see. They want you to pull them up, let them know that you can see them, that you can record them. Don't leave it up so long that they find blind spots or say, hey, I can stand behind this shelf or behind this student right here. You know, just enough for them to see what's going on and that they're aware that's going on. Again, when you pull your cameras up, if you'll remember, we went through this very quickly last week. If you pull up in either quad or single, they do share a stream, and so you actually have to click on the camera button and then either choose S for single or Q for quad, and then to activate it you have to push play, and that will reload that camera in that view. Okay? I know some people had forgotten, I clicked on quad but it only opened in single. That's why it's doing that. So it's a super quick, easy fix. Also, if you turn it on and you're getting feedback, then underneath your player window, you have a volume icon right here in Safari. Just click on that, and that will mute that playback. So if you are showing a live view in your class, it mutes that, and you don't have to worry about that with students. Okay? Now, from anywhere in the county, you can get the same access. So if you're at another building training or if you're in another room here training, you can go in and see your students in your classroom. However, when you're off the Bibb County network, you're not going to have the same rights. Okay? Again, in this PowerPoint, I have some step-by-step directions and some things to click on, but I'm actually going to pop over into Safari Montage and walk through this with you. Okay, so let's say you're at home and you have woken up sick or whatever, but you want to go in and check and make sure your kiddos are sitting in the right place or they're where they need to be. So when you log in, you pop on the Safari Montage and you're going to notice a couple things. The first thing, you're going to have a little house right up here. That means home access. Okay, you're not on the network, you're on home access, and your room number will not be there anymore. You won't have your room number there at all. Also, if you scroll down, you're not going to have this red button either. Again, your rights are different when you're not on the district. So what you're going to do in order to see your camera, if you will just look in this blue tab across the top and click on modules. So if everybody do that with me now, just click on modules. Again, I have directions for you guys. It's access from home. And on this left side, you're going to go all the way to the bottom where it says view path. You're going to click on view path and then click on classroom camera. Okay, so we went to modules, view path, and classroom camera. Now, it opens your camera up, and it is a very large image. And if you scroll all the way over to the right side and down some, you will see there's a drop-down box for quick record. Okay, this image refreshes about every 3 to 5 seconds. So again, it's not a live view, but you can get the idea of what's going on. You can tell if somebody's where they need to be. You can also start a recording. I mean, I wouldn't suggest this, but again, this is just an emergency type situation. Remember though, your recording needs to be between 5 minutes and 2 hours. Okay, you will not be able to adjust your camera in any way. It's just what it is there. You also can't go in and schedule a recording. Okay, this is again just like an emergency type situation. I wasn't planning on being out, but I am, and I want to pop in and make sure everything's okay, kind of thing. Alrighty. Remember, guys, this is just for emergency type if you're off campus for whatever reason. This is definitely not the preferred way to go in. For those who just have been connected to their camera, real quick, while we're troubleshooting one more issue.
Yeah, we have
From the dashboard, those that just now connected to their camera, click on dashboard for me up here at the top, and then scroll down and tell me if you have this red button.
And just copy and paste that.
Thank you so much for being patient. I know it's hard to get everybody going, especially when everybody can't be here at one time. So thank you very much that we're getting some people caught up. So real quick, okay, so we've gone in and we've set a recording. We made a schedule last time I was here, and we set our recordings to go. And for just a second, let's say like we need to change that schedule. Maybe the recording came on too late, or it didn't last long enough, or for whatever reason, we want to change that time. So to find those videos, again, from your dashboard and from where this red button is, so we'll click back on our dashboard, we'll scroll down to the red NDVR section. We have another tab down here that says My Recordings. Now you'll notice this is only going to show so many recordings, and it doesn't have a More button on here. So if you see the recording you want to view, that's fine. You can click on the picture itself and it'll play the video, or if you click on the words, you can go in and edit that video. But the best way to find, there's another way to find your recordings. And the best way to do that is to use the search button up here. So we're going to click on search. It's right next to the dashboard button. And then in this gray box on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to look to where it says Publisher. You're going to click on that Publisher drop-down box and scroll till you find Creation Station My Files. Okay, anything you upload in Safari goes in under Creation Station, and if you just remember My Files, I'm looking for My Files. You click on that, and then the last thing you have to do to get it to load is click on that search, the gray search button. Which is silly. There are 3 search buttons in a row. The bottom search button. Click on that one, and you'll see the videos that I have popped up over here. And the first one I have is a training that I did at another school, at Appling and then MLK. And then you can see the videos from my schedule that I have done last night. You can get lots of good information from here. If you look on the right-hand side of the video, you can see how long the video is. You can see what date it was uploaded on, the date and time that it recorded. And then you can see a couple of different things. If you look at mine up here, this video right here, you'll see the share level says private because I haven't shared it with anybody. And underneath it says expiration. It gives me a day the media will be removed. So if you don't go in and save it, it gives you a warning every day of when that video is going to be deleted. If you'll notice the video just above this one that I've edited, you can see I shared this at the school level, and I no longer have an expiration date because I've gone in and saved it, okay? And we're going to show you how to do that. On the left-hand side, you have the play button. You have the option to add it to a playlist. You have your edit and delete as well, okay? So we have edit and delete. If you just want to delete that video right then, just go ahead and delete it, okay? Now click on edit for me. Now when you click on edit, the first screen that comes up is your descriptive information page. This is just telling you about the video, when it was made, how long, whatnot. You're going to click on the next tab that says Rights Management. Again, I have all of this written out for you guys with pictures and stuff. This is your important page, okay? From here, if you want to keep this video, all you have to do is click Never Expires, and at the bottom of this page is Save. Okay, so now that video will save and it will not be deleted. And anytime you can go back and delete that video. Okay, so if you ever have a question, maybe there's something on there I want, just go ahead and save it. And then later on, if you don't need it, you can delete it. The other options you have are downloadable. If you, sometimes you can make videos downloadable so that you can maybe view them from home. I know sometimes when you're trying to view a video and playback at school or on the internet, depending on where you are, it can sometimes buffer and play really slow. Some of the regular videos are like that too. So if you just download that video, it makes it much easier to play back. Maybe you're sharing this video, giving it to an administrator, maybe something happened you want them to take a look at or whatnot. Of course, we need to make sure that we're always cautious. We don't share videos with other people or parents or anything like that because we want to protect student privacy. So definitely be careful if you ever use that feature, but just know that it's there.
Okay, the technical question, where you got the home access, administrators and content creators can play from their home, so I can go in and look at my video. If it's my class recording, can I download it without checking the downloadable button?
You cannot download it until you check the downloadable button.
Whether it's mine or not.
Right. And you'll see if I'll show you when I go back to my search page. Clicking the downloadable button actually puts a button on there to make it downloadable. Before that, it's not downloadable. I mean, you could, manipulate it in a different way, but through Safari, it's not downloadable in its entirety until you have to tell it to be downloadable.
Okay. can I do that from home on my console for my
Yes.
video?
Yes, yes.
So I can go in, change the rights to downloadable, and then go right back
Yes.
and download it?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. Yes, and you'll have to click save, and you'll see that in just a minute.
Okay.
The last thing I'm gonna do is click share, okay? Let's say I want to share this video. Maybe I am just gonna allow, like, if I did wanna share with the administrator, you don't have to download it and give it to them. If you share it to that certain person, then they can log in with their rights, and that video will be available for them to pull up, okay? So let's say I'm gonna make this never expires, downloadable, and share, and I'm gonna click save and continue. Now, when I do that, if you'll notice, the very next thing that comes up is add permissions, okay? I have to click on add permissions because the minute you share video with somebody, look who it shares to. Shares to all. That includes students. Any students that have login rights, which I don't think they do right now, but I know they have accounts in Safari, and that may be something that's coming. So right now, the minute you share, it goes to all. So you want to go in immediately and change that permission level. When I click on the drop-down box, there are two choices of who to share this to. The first is a user type, and really, that's just a whole group, and you probably won't even use this that much. Again, parents do not have access, neither do the students or student with upload. All of your teachers here should have upload rights. So if something good happens, if it was a good thing you wanted to share with everybody, you could go in and just leave teacher with upload and principal selected, and it would just share with them and not your principal students. I'm sorry. Now, maybe it was something you just want to share with your administrators. Maybe something happened and, it was something you wanted to share with that whole group. That would be your principal group. That's all your administrators here. The top 3 sections are worded very poorly in Safari. Where it says school administrator, that's your Safari level school administrator. Every account that has an account with Safari has a certain person that's assigned to, like Bibb County or Newton County or whoever, and they're assigned as your technicians. That's who these are, these boxes that are uncheckable, I guess you could say. These are your Safari people and progressive people and that can go in and troubleshoot and do maintenance type thing. Okay? The other option is to save by user and user groups. This is probably one you would use more often. You'll see right here I have a space to add a person's name. I also have available choices. Again, you can only share with your school, no one else. But if I scroll down, you see lots of numbers in here. That's how I know students are in here, because these are actually student ID numbers or student account numbers within Safari. So to find a teacher would take quite a bit of scrolling. So the best thing to do would be to search for them by name. Now I have to tell you, anytime you share a video, you have to share it with yourself also, or you lose access to that video. In fact, if you look right here, it says permission is granted to. So you're really not sharing it, you're giving it away if you don't share it with yourself also. So the best thing to do first is to share it, put your name in first. So I'm just going to type, if that'll work or not. Not hit capital. Okay, so I'm going to Progressive Trainer. I'm going to share with Progressive Trainer. That's me, so I'm going to share it with myself first. And then I'm going to share it with, I've just been using Miss Griffith's name. Share it with Miss Griffith. Click on her name, click on the arrow, and now you can see who that permission is granted to. So when they log in, they can search for videos uploaded by, Miss Griffin can go in and search for video uploaded by me, and that video will show up, but only as she's logged in. Okay? When I'm finished sharing, I can click on her name, I can move it back over here, and now that video is no longer shared with her. Okay?
Yes,
Kinda
you're
sorta.
suggesting, yes, that user types, I've got, that's just basically any
A whole group,
teacher,
right, right.
all administrators,
yes.
all school administrators.
Right.
When it says principal, does that
That's
include?
the principal group. That's how they're set in AD. It's the principal group. That's your principal, assistant principal
Okay.
group. And then, so now if I go back to my search page, where I search those videos, I can scroll down now and look at this video, and you can see now this is the video I was on. It's shared at the school level. Even though it's not shared to the whole school, I did share it at the school level, and it is saved. It's not going to delete. And also you'll notice now, if you look at this one, now I have a download button, and on this one I did not have a download button. because I haven't gone in and made this one downloadable yet. Okay, so here's my download, and now I don't have a download button. Okay, so I know you guys have to get out of here, so this is about as far as we got with one of the other groups. So we'll just stop right here, and for our next training, try to have at least 2 or 3 recordings that are about 5 minutes long, and we want them to show a little bit of movement. We're going to try to go in and show you how to trim the edges off the start and stop time, and do some segmenting and stuff if Safari will cooperate with us. So, and we'll also troubleshoot any other issues. But try to, again, it can be first thing in the morning, it can be in the afternoon. It's nothing we're going to watch or play up here. It's just for your access, just so that we can show you a little bit more about how to do this. I have a few other features to show you about adding and removing users and sharing and stuff, but we'll get to that in our next session, okay?